Hit me!
Episode 301.
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
That's right, everybody. I'm Will.
I'm Trent.
And you're listening to another edition of NetHeads coming at you live, sort of, from Smodco Internet Radio.
Smodcast.com.
If you want to take part in the program, I want to tell you something. You can, one of many different ways. One of them is Twitter, and there's only one way I like to hear about how to tweet, and that is from a main man, Trent.
Yeah, use the hashtag NetHeads. The unofficial producer of the show, Roller Dog NC, who just a few hours ago was catching up on episodes. I don't know what he was doing, but we were in him audibly.
Yeah, well, we were orally, audibly in his ear. He was catching up at work, man. That's one thing I haven't been able to do a whole hell of a lot lately. I don't know, it seemed like my workday used to be filled primarily with listening to podcasts, but now, I don't know if it's because my level of engagement is more with my brain and my work, or if it's because, I don't know, it's not, this is going to sound stupid, Trent. It's just it's not convenient for me to listen to podcasts anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like I just listen to like music all day long while I'm at work because I get too wrapped up into like stories. You know what I mean? That I can't focus on what I'm doing, and it takes longer.
Mm-hmm. I completely understand. And here in my home office situation, but I think that's really what it is because I can't. For lack of a better term, I got the Droid phone as my podcaster, right? And that I can plug into the mixer to listen to my podcasts, but it seems like it's always low on battery, and I got to plug it in, and the cord's not long enough. Zip, zap, zoop, yada, yada, yada. I'm an idiot who, for some reason, can't get my shit together and just listen to podcasts. That's what I'm saying, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, another way you can take part in the program, if you can, while you're live with us here and now, in the here and now, you could do that via something that we never remember to check and more than often we'll completely forget about, but you can hit us up via Skype, NetHeads on there. Very simple. Also, if I press this little button right here, the chat will pop up like Alan Ellsworth or Philsworth. I can't read it from here. It's too tiny, Trent. But on Facebook, he was saying, hey, NetHeads, what's up, bro?
Oh,
how's it
nice.
going? Right? Isn't that a little convenient thing?
Technology, man.
Yeah, the only thing I wish I could do is also just take the time to probably get one question answered from Restream, just so that we don't have to have the default message right here at the top that says, the chat is ready to display messages. Well, good to know, but I don't think everybody on the feed needs to know that. That's just
And longtime friend of the program, Miranda Janelle, is tuning in live, so... what's up in SoCal, baby?
Oh, cool. And it's a good thing, too. Look, here's the thing. Trent, there is something special about being live. I don't know what it is. ZDigital13 via the tube saying, hey, yo, what up, man? And that's that there, in this world of podcasting and everything else, I think the tradition of a live broadcast sort of loses its value, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have much currency because, it's available afterwards. You know, even one of the biggest entertainers when it comes to, I guess you could say, radio, whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. Howard Stern basically changed an industry by changing a broadcast medium. So it's kind of hard to argue that he is not a success. And even there, like on his channel on Sirius, they repeat the show all day. So if you aren't catching it like live on the East Coast, you can just defer it later. And it's like, hey, 9 o'clock, I can listen to the wrap-up show or move on and listen to the show again. It just loops. Also, you can download them in the Sirius app. So in other words, live doesn't have much value anymore. It almost has lost its meaning. But I've figured out a way to give purpose to us risking making absolute asses of ourselves or saying something incredibly wrong and exposing ourselves to all kinds of hurt in getting on the air and doing this live the way we do. Other than the fact that I love being live. There's a certain magic about it. A certain something that just draws you in. And I guess it's actually it's just familiarity. It's how I got started, or more to the point, it's like I live live. You live live, right?
Yeah, well, kind of.
We hope so.
I'm trying to live in the moment.
There you go, man. So I figured out a way to do this and also to give something back to the people who have been giving to us. Because believe it or not, there is a NetHeads on-air Patreon page. And people can subscribe through there. And some people have come and stayed. Some have come and gone. And we still love each and every one of you. So here's what we're going to do. Live is still a medium I want to use. But it's going to have value. So what that means is from now on... I always come up with these great ideas, talk about them at the beginning, and then we never hear about them again. But let's see.
Right.
What's going to happen is, if you are a patron, you can catch the show live. So if you do take the time to go ahead and catch us while we are live and in the moment. Sorry, I was just reading Z Digital 13. Once again, I've now made it so I can be distracted on the show. I sure missed you guys. So many podcasts. Live NetHeads is the best, though. Thank you. So if you take the time to listen to the show live, you are going to be getting a special treat because you're catching it as it's going out. And then immediately after that, like as soon as I get done saying goodnight to Trent and then start going back out to my family, I will be then making every one of the videos because it's being recorded live as we go out on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch. Every one of them will become private at that point, and then only our patrons will be able to catch the video as soon as I can post it after. And then same thing with the podcast. I will post that as soon as I can to the Patreon. And then finally, a few days later, like let's say we do it Tuesday and I get everything up Tuesday, then on Thursday or Friday, everything go back out to the masses. And this isn't in any way to penalize anyone. No. That's not the point. The point is we want to make sure that the people who are supporting us directly, or more to the point in some ways paying for my subscription to the Ralph Report, because that's on Patreon too. I realized that the other day.
It just goes right into it.
What I need to do is I need to become a patron of our Patreon page in the exact same amount as that, so that way it washes, and then I feel like I am contributing to it. Now, boy, I've just peeled back the onion way too much. As a way to thank everyone that's made that investment in us, we want to make sure we're giving something back to you. So that's what we're going to do. You get the first crack at the podcast, and best of all, other than when we talk about crap like this, you're getting it commercial free. That is the only place you can get commercial free NetHeads, by the way, Trent.
Yeah.
Other than, like I said, this crap that I say at the beginning. You get it commercial free as a podcast, and you get it first. The video, same exact story. Now, I will admit, though, I'm not opening up any kind of special account. So I am putting it out there that if you are a patron and you want to continue to enjoy this service, please in no way try to share the video. That's all we ask. That's it. Because it will come out a few days later anyway, so it's no big deal. But you guys all get a first crack at it because I want you to you've invested in it. You've been a member of this club for so long, you may as well get something out of it, right?
Yeah. And here's, that's exactly it. Like, you're not getting a lot, and we know that, and this is just a little way to say thanks because you're doing it because you want to, not because of like the perks.
Yeah, God knows it's not the perks. I mean, like, what's one of our big whopping rewards? We'll send a postcard.
Yeah.
But, you know, the handwritten note is a lost medium in itself, Trent.
Oh, my hands are so sweaty, no one wants anything from me. It'd just be like a crumpled, shredded pulp of ink and what used to be paper.
I was having such a nice conversation with you, and I was really just enjoying it so much, and then that happened.
Yeah.
Alan Ellsworth on Facebook wants to know, Trent, you both still doing the potato diet? You guys are looking svelte AF, which
thank you.
I love saying just the AF because
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what the kids say.
yeah, exactly, man. We're trying to keep it street, guys. That's what I already completely whited that up. Never mind. Anyway, Trent, are you still doing the potatoes as long as we're out, answering questions?
So I'm doing potatoes, beans, and rice for probably 75% of all my meals.
Wow. Well, them beans and rice is an energy device.
Yeah, and they also if you're doing the rice correctly, and beans do it already because that's one of the mono diets out there. Can if you're heating and then cooling and then reheating to eat, do it as well. And so I've been on like a very slow reduction of weight that way, but I can still eat what I want when like I go have like work lunch or whatever.
Well, Trent, beans and rice is nice.
I do. I freaking love beans and rice, dude. I just got done eating a big old plate of beans and rice.
You're talking all happy about them, and people with the deep cuts knowledge know I'm actually quoting. I think perhaps not a Schoolhouse Rock, but one of those little interstitials that would run between Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, really?
ZDigital13 says, can you sound clip that and send it to me? Will saying, you're trying to keep it street. In Will's one-of-a-kind voice is the best. Well,
yeah. Well, hey, we're keeping it waspy, folks.
Unfortunately, Trent just talked right over that nice bed that I almost gave you. Actually, that is another thing too, Trent. Commercial-free, Trent. Here you are. Listen to the premium on your Patreon. Commercial-free.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that finally woke up and smelled the coffee and realized NetHeads on air ain't gramming. We weren't on the gram.
Oh, I'm so out of like the lingo. I'm just like, I fucking love Golden Grams, dude. If that's can we like I would kill someone. Fuck beans and rice. I want so badly some Golden Grams right now.
Oh wow! Trent, just put them out of your mind. Put them out of your mind.
I can't.
Good job, by the way. I'm glad to hear that, and glad to hear you found something that works, especially when you have slow, steady weight loss, because that's the best kind.
Sure.
Right? No, really, because you're establishing habits and you're doing things and you're losing in a natural pace, so you're not going to have to worry about rebound as much because you're living a lifestyle and you're doing it.
Right, yeah.
So good on you. I actually, what's the best way to say this? I'm incapable of thinking for myself, Trent.
As are all men, I would like to think.
So anyway, there's an Instagram account for NetHeads now. It's NetHeads on air, like everything else. So if you want to follow that, go ahead. And it's been fun creating something and then just seeing just good little gradual growth, much like the slow weight loss you want.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Segue.
It's just getting little tiny followers here and there. And what I'm trying to do with it is I'm trying to make the pictures mostly tech oriented. So trying to introduce parts in the studio. And one of the things I tweeted about was the L12 live track from Zoom that we use. And I love it because like the H6, we're completely we're single tracking it for each sound source, basically.
Right.
The video, y'all get the mix. Somebody asked me on Twitter, by the way, if you were pre-mix or post-mix. And I was like, whoa, that's a deep cut.
Shit, have we been live and not known it? when we're figuring shit out every time?
Yeah, no, because that was the world we lived in. Oh wait, that's going out to Sir right now. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Thankfully, nobody listens. Yeah, so Instagram NetHeads on there. I was trying to tweet it out, and that just reminded me when I posted that image. I love being able to single track. Last week's episode with Steve Ashton started sounding so good, and then I hadn't realized that I had a temporary digital card in there, and so you then cut over to to me using the audio from the video, which was then completely mixed. So I guess technically speaking, to answer that question, we are all post mix now, but we are also pre-mix. We're both pre-mix and are you okay, buddy? Did you lose something?
Yeah, my dog stole my flip-flop.
Oh, there's a reason why I knew I just randomly titled this episode Trent-tacular. I just knew there was a reason.
I'm like, my foot was just in.
Like I said, folks, there's a lost art in doing live because you get rare moments like that. Do you need? Believe me, I can talk, friend. Do you need to go like rescue this flip flop?
No,
from...
I fished it back from him.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure because the last thing I want is this to result in a vet bill because of digested foam or something.
No, I got it back.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. So, we have an Instagram account. Where was I going? Oh, diet-wise, I can't think for myself. So when I was basically kind of just doing what you were doing, and then with like potatoes or trying to do this or that. But then I keyed in on something that, of course, Kevin Smith had said, and I started intermittent fasting first. Mm-hmm. Okay. This was, Mel Walker says, "Hey everybody, cool. I basically started doing keto without really doing keto, and since then, unfortunately, I'm another one of the people in the massive, or in the douchey masses is what I'm looking for, that is doing that. But like realistically speaking, it also sort of ties in the way I'm doing it with most of the foods that." Never really have seemed to give me problems, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing, essentially. But also, there was a while I was running, but, that stopped. But that was because I kept seeing losses. This is the worst reason not to exercise, Trent, okay? But follow me here.
Okay.
So, and by the way, I'm saying I can't think for myself because my brother-in-law was seeing great results doing the keto thing, and then the doctor, one of the doctors that popularizes that methodology or diet, if you will, is he also goes into intermittent fasting, and so those two kind of converged me at once when I was studying. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go with a healthy food and do this and that, and then it just kind of evolved after time. But during this whole period, I have been experiencing that thing called weight loss. And the body is a funny thing, Trent, because when you do things like exercise, like let's say I finally went out and started running again tomorrow, what's going to happen is the muscles in my legs are actually going to get used and the muscles are going to tear, and that's going to cause inflammation. And when you get inflamed, what do, Trent?
You retain water.
Ding, ding, ding. So I've been having this nice gradual loss, and I don't want to run because I don't want to get the temporary swell from exercising.
Yep.
Like I said, worst reason not to exercise. But one funny thing did happen too, even if I had wanted to, Trent. Last Sunday, I was doing something heroic, Trent. I was saving puppies from a burning, overturned car. And through my sheer will and adrenaline, I flipped the vehicle over and I saved the puppies. And then, next thing you know, I've got a real bad muscle spasm in my back. And I go out of commission for damn near a week. As my wife said to me, I think it was yesterday, or said to my daughter at one point, by the way, did you know Dad's back hurts? You might have heard something about it, because I won't shut up about it.
Wait, but hold on. Did you really have like a Homelander moment?
No, it was nothing that cool.
Oh, shit.
Because
okay, now you can scratch that. You can just fix that in post.
No, it's okay. You fed right in. You said, "Oh, I see. Will is tending to a path. Let's lead down it." Thank you for making sure we were all guided the appropriate way. No, I was taking the recycling out, and I knocked over a bowl of goldfish crackers that Blair had left on the counter, and I, like an asshole, I bent over to pick them up. That was it.
Okay.
So that's why I was flipping a car and saving puppies, because that's as bad as the
sounds
thing.
way better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that type of act. First of all, it's just another instance where life reminds you. By the way, the warranty ran out last year, so things are going to start going wrong now. because this goes along the lines, because I've had this happen too, where you sneeze and suddenly you're not looking to your right for the next 4 days.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Or you just like you slept incorrectly. Like that's like that happens to me more than anything. Like the pillow between my legs moved during the night.
It's funny you mention that, because obviously, Trent, you have back problems too, and I know this because you have a pillow between your legs.
Exactly, man. I know exactly what you're talking about, brother.
Yeah. And I'm the same way, but because of the back injury now, I have created a tower of pillows, and I'm just sleeping on my back. But I was smart, because 3 pillows are really hard to balance, Trent. So if you take one pillow and you jam it in a big pillowcase with the other pillow, then you can have greater stability.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah. I usually like wedge one like behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I have one between my legs. I have one under my head, and then my arm is around another one.
Welcome to NetHeads, folks, the techiest tech talk on the internet. So the other day when I was laying in bed with my feet way high up, do you know what I did, Trent? I finally, it had just become available. I put the YouTube app on the Fire TV stick.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And I watched me some Hollywood Babylon. I got to tell you something, commercial free, folks. I used to think, with the web browser interface, I'm okay, but man, that is a lot cleaner.
It is so much better. The first week it was released, I was having some major audio sync problems. But this next week, the second week that it was out, that was all I didn't have that problem again.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Awesome.
Right? It's clean, it runs efficiently, it does everything you want it to do. And best of all, if you have the, Alexa enabled remote, cancel.
Yep.
She's lighting up over here. Then you can also be in YouTube, and you could say like Kevin Smith or something like that, and it will pull stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting. I was thinking about this, just talking about it with my roommate just the other night. Like, it's like I don't know what OS or what programming language they're making these in, because I would assume, well, I don't know, but like it would suck to be a content provider and have to like pay someone to create it for each different platform, right? So you've got someone creating your app, your video streaming app for Roku, for Amazon, for smart TVs. You know what I mean? Like it, that to me just seems crazy. That, and again, I don't know, I haven't looked into it, but there's got to be like a restream version, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just goes out to everything.
Well, I know that the Fire TV stick, just to be clear, is you can side load other operating systems onto the Fire TV stick. Okay, I guess that's the best way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's so I would say that at least that's what the technology supports, and maybe it does have a Linux backbone. Why would a tech podcast bother to look something like this up, though, Trent?
Well, and that's what I was wondering. Like if they were going traditional like Linux route, or if they were doing more like Raspberry Pi type stuff, or if they were like, just going straight like Chrome OS type interface. Yeah, just it was interesting to me. And what made me even think about this was recently the WWE Network, their channel app thing for the Fire Stick, they did a recent update this week, and it is amazing. It is so good. It has just in fast forward functions, it has a 10-second jump, it has the time jump to wherever you want to go, and then something that is like changed everything, because WWE, like, they have a ton of ads, they have a ton of just like talking, and so if you're watching like a big long pay-per-view after it's live, you can just jump right to the next match whenever you want. Boom, boom.
Oh,
boom.
wow.
They're basically chapters that they've put in there, but it is like just to have 3 different options like that is really, really helpful. And I hope that takes off and is more, I don't know, just across the board, more people use it. Again, like, I love the quality of my 4K Chromecast. I think it loads faster than the Fire Stick, but the interface for the Fire TV and the remote itself blow the Chromecast out of the water to where, like, now that I have a YouTube app on on my Fire Stick, I don't know if I'll fire up the Chromecast hardly ever again.
I don't think I'll ever go back to it. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, you're dead to me.
Oh wow, that's harsh, bro.
Well, yeah.
It's
Maybe
okay
not.
though. I completely understand. I know that I was extremely scared about going with a non-cable solution, but when you add in Hulu Live and whatever customization you need to see all of the things that you want to see, whether because like with Hulu I just add HBO on there and then I can use the HBO Go app, and an hour after John Oliver's live, if I missed it, I can do this. And it's all transparent now, but hearing advances like that where they're delivering smart content to smart content digesters, that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, like how cool would it be, like, if there's like I'm sure it already exists, but if you had like a concert streaming service, right, to where you can then just jump to specific songs that you want to see them performed live. Or
Oh my!
like
could you imagine? You just get a whole set list, and then you can
and you can build like your own playlist or whatever. Like, it'd be freaking awesome.
It truly would be. By the way, Judge Funky Boy raises a really good question, Trent. He says, he's asked if you talked about how you spent your weekend photographing people wearing spandex yet.
I haven't yet, but I will.
Okay. Did you want to address that now? It seems like a logical jump. You were just talking about wrestling. I'm going out on a limb here.
Yeah, I do the video production and still photos for Devotion Championship Wrestling, and that's what I did on Saturday night. Was filmed and shot a bunch of sweaty dudes and a few really sweet ladies wrestling in Salt Lake City.
Very nice. So is this like a new gig, or you're just like, I enjoy what you guys do so much, I just want to see it done right?
The latter, yes.
So this is all just a passion thing.
Yes, this is a donation. In fact, I will go back to editing video when we get done here.
Oh wow! So now we're officially in the way.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. It's a nice break.
Ah, there you go. A nice palate cleanser, if you will.
Yes.
Somebody said you were flexing, but I was like, is he flexing? Or I never understood this, but apparently in sports terms, this is like the surrender cobra or something like that. Surrender moccasin or something like that.
That makes sense. No, shoulder. I do it all day long just because I have shoulder problems. So I'm always like making the right angle with my shoulders.
At least with your issue, you could do that. My only option is, all right, I'm going to have to lay down right here from the middle of the family room in front of everybody. I'm now going to keep my shoulders square and bend my knees to the right to, like, hi, everyone. Here I am. It's good you can do that, though. But
yeah. I mean, that's a little bit. I can get away with that a little bit better in, like, a Qdoba line than you could with yours.
Yeah.
You're just lying down. I'm still in line. I'm just stretching.
So how often are you going to be recording these people?
So we it has been monthly, and now we're doing fortnightly. So the next show will be not this coming weekend, but the weekend after.
Well, that sounds like they're getting positive results, though, because you don't ramp something up unless you're like, unless you're like the cluelessly hopeful. It's just like, what, guys? Maybe they're not coming enough because we don't remind them we're here.
We're just not doing it enough,
right?
No, it's cool because they're in a really unique spot. In kind of like a big collective art warehouse type place. That's part of an old train station that's part of a mall, like an outdoor mall.
You lost me right before train station, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But it's basically across the street is where the Jazz play.
Oh, okay.
So it's right downtown. It's a great location. They've been getting it. They've got some awesome talent there. And they share talent back and forth with a promotion in Denver, and so they're always like bringing people in from Denver and some international people. Some people have been on that are on TV have performed. So yeah, it's been a ton of fun.
Mel Walker pointing out, by the way, that she is halfway to cable cutting. They just went from getting premium cable package to the lowest, plus a thing here in Canada called Crave TV, including HBO.
Crave is awesome.
It gets me lots of shows on demand that I can download to my phone, so now I can watch Workaholics at work.
Yeah, Crave. Letterkenny is a Crave original, and I think Schitt's Creek is too.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek, the Arrested Development of Canada.
And the thing is, it's been so available to me, but I've never watched it.
You know what? I just I watched it like I watch anything. I let it wholly consume me, and I watched all. I think there's like 6 seasons, in like a week or whatever. It's really good, and I tell you what, that freaking Eugene Levy has still got it, man. He is still as funny as ever, but who steals the show is Catherine O'Hara, man.
Well, that's good to hear because
she is brilliant.
I don't know why she was the same one in Beetlejuice, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yep.
definitely. And her acting and her character in that movie, I absolutely I wasn't attracted to her. I just loved her portrayal in it.
Oh yeah, no, she man, she is one of the funniest actors out there. I think I would cast her in anything. She's for me, she's up there with like Stephen Root.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a name I haven't heard for a while.
Not since Red State.
No. Actually, no, that's not true because the other day I was also just, mucking about the channels and I don't remember what was going on. I think somehow I was the only one home. They must the rest of the family went out doing something and I'm just knocking around and I'm like, I never really give Prime Video a chance. And I end up hitting John DiMaggio's documentary, I Know That Voice.
Yes.
So
that's a great one.
And Root was in there because of his work on, amongst other things, but on King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. Yeah, he does a ton of voices on King of the Hill.
Mm-hmm. And it was really enjoyable. So I only bring that up because I don't even know why the hell I brought it up. Oh, just because we said Stephen Root. That's why.
Well, speaking of Prime Originals, though, I've watched the first episode of The Boys.
Oh my God. Okay, Trent, I'm going to warn you. Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Because it is a very enjoyable, mind you, but it is it's a very gritty ride. You remember? You remember when you binged all the final season of Breaking Bad up to the finale?
And it broke me.
Yes. I'm just saying, pace yourself because is. There's Go ahead.
I'm familiar with I've read the comics and like it's Garth Ennis, man. Like this is freaking Garth Ennis. This guy is known for his grit, right? For his blending of real life problems into fiction and being unapologetic about there's no feel good about this.
Yeah. There. Oh man. But it was a very interesting ride, I guess is the best way. There's a certain something that I have to give to Amazon Prime because they brought us Good Omens. They really produced quite a fine series in the tick. And I hope it's not because of The Boys that we didn't get a season 3 of the tick, because season 2, first of all, was great. Improvement hands down over the first season, which I enjoyed. But it's about superheroes, and The Boys is about superheroes, kinda. But I needed to. I figured Amazon has definitely gotten enough. They've earned enough credit with me to check it out, because I was really kind of unsure about watching it because I knew it was gonna be dark. But I did thoroughly enjoy it from beginning to end, and it really ends in a way that Mel Walker saying, "Oh, The Boys, I couldn't pace myself. Watched in about 2 days. This is what Preacher would feel like if it wasn't on AMC," is what she says.
Okay. That being said, I have loved Preacher though as well.
I honestly, Sweet, I have not watched it since the first season, and I can't tell you why. Because I did enjoy that first season. I just don't know why I haven't gone back to it.
Yeah.
But now that I know that they're wrapping it up, I'll just go ahead and wait for it all to drop, and then
you can chow it down.
Hey everybody, it's a 3-day weekend. It was nice knowing y'all. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get caught up on Preacher. Right?
Yeah. But along those same lines though as well, the Swamp Thing series on the DCU app is insanely good as well.
That really bums me out to hear, considering it was canceled. It had its run cut short, and it was canceled before it even streamed.
Really?
Yes. So
well, see, and that's interesting because it's 10 episodes, right?
Right, and I think they originally had 13, and as they were going into 10, they were told, "Yeah, this is going to be the last one, guys."
See, that's really interesting because I was going to bring up the point because our long ongoing beef with a lot of the Marvel Netflix stuff was that they were beheld to episode numbers, right? Where they could have told the story in fewer, but you got to do X amount. And I was going to say, and this proves that you can do a great story in 10 episodes, but never mind.
Sorry,
really,
bro.
I didn't know it had been canceled. That sucks because it's really good.
Yeah, well, that's why I said it's kind of a bummer to hear because.
Damn.
And there was a lot of somehow before it even dropped, there was a lot of early buzz about it, about how it was really good. But I remember hearing on Fat Man on Batman or Fat Man Beyond, the episode run did get cut, and they found out like it just barely going into 10. So did you watch all 10?
Yeah. Yep.
And did it seem to end cleanly, knowing what you know now? There were no left turns you didn't expect?
Well, no. It ends on like a new villain is born. You just introduced another superhero that's going to be helping you. They've only teased at the Phantom Stranger along the way. Like, no, it's wide open, but it's just really interesting because Doom Patrol, I just Googled it, got a second season.
Yeah, I know. Funny, huh?
And it is like, I like Doom Patrol, don't get me wrong, but Doom Patrol is not for everyone, and it knows that. Like, it breaks the fourth wall many times, assuring that the people who are watching it are a select few nerds, and it is not for everyone. And the pacing is way different, which it's just, it's maybe they just don't have the subscribers that they need for everything. I don't know.
No, you got to go back. I mean, the long and short of it is you have this weird world where AT&T has bought Warner Brothers,
right? Yes,
and both were coming out with streaming services. DC Universe is out there, but Warner Brothers is putting one together, and AT&T has their whole DirecTV, or they changed the name of it just now, and I forgot what it is, but it's not DirecTV now. It's something else. But they were all having their online services, so now I think with through acquisition, suddenly they just slammed a lot of brakes.
Yeah.
And then they said, you know what? No, we really need to figure out what we're doing before we do anything else. And that's understandable because Swamp Thing did have a massive series of sets that would cost money to just hold in storage until we figure it out, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of speculation going on right now as to where DC fits within this big merger, right? And a lot of people think that DC Comics is not going to stay within this organization.
God, that's literally one of the weirdest things I think I've ever heard.
Right? Yeah.
Well, actually, let's not forget there was a world where DC wasn't owned by Warner Brothers.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But it really would alienate it in a way where the other side definitely has a lot of synergy going on. So much so, I couldn't believe this. ABC has said they want to, because season 7 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be the last one.
Right.
Something I found out sitting in Hall H at Comic-Con for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I just drop something? It was they've already announced that they want to do some other type of superhero show after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is off the air. So they're still committed to doing stuff. Whereas I thought this might not be something that ABC would be pursuing anymore because of what we saw with, because they've got the whole Disney Plus service coming out, and they got a lot of cool stuff happening there, which I heard about in Hall H. And I don't know. I thought it came as a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting to hear that news.
Well, it's yeah, and so I think behind it all, there's a great Forbes article that came out about a month ago that talks about this. But so you've got, the easy comparison, right? You've got Marvel and DC, right? And you've got Marvel being owned by a content creator, right? And that's what they do. They generate content, right? But now you've got DC, who is owned by a content distributor, right? And the article just talks about how the AT&T is not interested in sub brands, and all of the comic book industry yearly is about $1 billion. DC only makes up about 35% of that, and that is in like the smallest amount of money compared to like what AT&T wants to be making with their products and things. So they just don't see the return being high enough. 35% for a market for them is a waste of their time.
When it comes down to big business, I understand. But you know what I was thinking the other day,
but
Trent?
It scares me, man. Like, where does it end up? Because you know what I mean? Like,
it'll wind up being its own company again, probably. But I don't know that. How can you separate those two? Because that's a lot of valuable IP that they wouldn't want to let go of.
Yeah.
But how can you? I mean, because then you're basically drawing a line in the sand, and you're saying, okay, you guys still have the license to these characters in comic book form. We have them in all the other media. But that's also a line in the sand that's drawn unless they add in something that says, and any characters created over the next 5 years, let's say.
Yeah.
We have rights to. But, after that, or do they just automatically get them in perpetuity even though it's a separate company? Then
so the other thing is the purchase of Warner Media was $85.4 billion, right? Which now makes AT&T's outstanding debt, $164 billion.
Dude, I don't understand the world we live in. That's their debt, and
right,
and Netflix is still running just off of investor cash somehow, and they're just in the subscribers game and what their money they're burning. I don't understand this world we live in where businesses are carrying like massive amounts of debts and loans.
Yeah. So the economists are saying that when something like this normally happens, and the company, the overall company is in so much debt, that's when you start seeing small things being sold off quickly to try and lower that debt as quickly as possible. And so that's where you could see like rights to characters being sold off quickly, or just the whole, comics division quickly sold off somewhere, so that they're not accruing more and helping to pay not pay off, but like bring that down somewhat.
I was also reading an article that was basically pointing out that when the Disney Plus app comes out, it's basically game over.
Yeah, take my money. Like, I want it right now already. I just give it to me already. I'm pissed I don't have it.
Wow, don't mince words, man.
Right?
No, but I mean, like, as in they are going to just own the industry. Netflix, just shutter your doors, move on.
Right.
You've been trumped. You're Blockbuster Video, and we're Netflix now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
The other day I was once again watching Avengers Endgame, and I see that, and I see everything that went on there, and I'm still baffled though at how Warner Brothers just couldn't put out a decent ensemble cast movie.
Man, it's why it's the John Lasseter approach. You keep the suits out of creative, man.
You think that's what it was? That's the
I
lock
think
right
that's
there?
exactly what it is. Like, perfect example is freaking Suicide Squad, man. If we ever got to see a director's cut of that, we would see an amazing film. But after focus testing and the suits were worried about this, that, and the other, they started changing things, and then they had to do reshoots. And
People
then
are asking
re-edits
for giant spiders.
Exactly. This is exactly it. This is the problem, right?
Right.
Like, you got to keep the suits out of creative. Yeah, it's because it should be a product driven sale, not a sale driven product. If that makes sense.
I completely understand.
And that's the in the past has been the Warner. It's a sale driven product, not a product driven sale.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, I would love to see that. I would actually like to see the Zack Snyder cut. We put all those things out there. I feel better now. Speaking of wanting to feel better, Trent, July 2nd, there was this movie that came out. For the love of God, please tell me you've seen Far From Home.
Not yet. Sorry. I know. I'm bad. I've been bad.
Wow. Well, you've been busy. Okay.
I've been bad. I've been bad is
All
what
right.
I've been.
Never mind. Moving on. I've been waiting nearly a month to talk about San Diego Comic-Con, dude.
Yeah, let's do this.
I don't know how to do this without sounding like a guy that's just doing all the goddamn talking, though. That's the only problem I have.
Nope. Don't care. I want to hear about it. I get to live through you.
Okay. Let me first tell you that if I never go again, I'm ending on a high note. Because I had what can very easily be defined as a great con experience, okay? And I'm just gonna
and you've done it so that you were able to curb. I'm just guessing, curb expectations a little bit, know your limits, pick and choose what you want to experience for a higher quality con.
No, man. What happened is this Kevin Smith fairy dust just kind of fell down. The stars aligned. I don't know, somewhere, a golden calf was born. I don't know.
Yeah.
But everything just came together in such a sweet, unanticipated manner. And part of it is because one of my responsibilities going down. Now, mind you, once again, I said it last year, and I would say it this year again. If I were going to Comic-Con as a normie, I would not go. Okay, and mind you, I wasn't even really expecting very much. Okay, I really wasn't. Going into this, I didn't expect much. I knew I was going to provide technical loading of media for the Hall H panel.
Yeah.
So that was on Wednesday, but for reasons that happened behind the scenes, we didn't have our media to check in on Wednesday. So instead, we did a special accommodation. So we got there. First of all, the drive went down was almost perfect, but somehow the last 14 miles took 2 hours. Okay, and that, my friend, is apparently definitive driving to Comic-Con in the afternoon.
Okay.
So that part sucked, but we rolled in, we dropped off our stuff, we went down, got all our badges and stuff from Chelsea, from Kevin's organization, and then basically I was supposed to have a tech check really late in the evening, and they reached out and said, well, are you going to do this, or can we let the crew go early? Now, mind you, at this point, I'd gotten my badges, walked to the floor, and then got to have breakfast dinner at the interdimensional hole of pancakes. Okay, which was the Good Place installation outside, and paid way too damn much for food, but it was still delightful. I took my placemat. It's up on the wall right now. You can't see it though. And I tweeted a picture about it. It was just delightful because it was Good Place themed, and we had just come off of recent news that it was going to be the final season for season 4. So, and I didn't get to do the Good Place experience last year, so it was very nice for me. So, fast forward ahead, get the message, hey, can you do this? So before we order, I quickly run down to Hall H, introduce myself, because that's the important part. Did some big smiles, asked the guy that runs everything if my daughter could get into the river, and I could get into the Riverdale panel on Sunday, because I know where my bread is buttered. And
yes.
Well, the kid's coming all this way. I want to try and see. That was the whole goal of that handshake. But then this is when the magic happened, Trent, because they said, okay, well, here, take this. What we'll do is we'll load your media Saturday morning, okay, while we're doing this. We won't be able to see it up on the screen, but we'll verify it plays, and we'll ride levels. We'll get it all good. Perfect. And she hands me a wristband that I'm supposed to use that day. And I look at it, and it just says Saturday and a color, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Fast forward to the next day. Now we're at Thursday, and we get up early, and I want to go to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine installation, which is where the Good Place one was last year. People, I kid you not, because a lot of when I say installation, these are all things that are outside of the con proper, okay? They're not part of the main convention hall. They're not part of the Hilton Bayside. These are outside. They don't require a badge to do. And we got there the first day, 2 minutes after they opened, and they were 5 minutes away from capping the line temporarily for the day. So I'm like, the Brooklyn Nine-Nine experience may not be in my future. The only one I didn't get into, just to, ruin the surprise, the only one I didn't get to do was the Superstore one because I just wasn't going to wait in the line. Okay, so so Thursday morning we found out that couldn't happen. We did get guest access to the IMDb boat again, so we got to hang out there in a nice, cool place. It's air conditioned, there's power, and actually they were launching the Reboot Roadshow website, and I was the one. Basically, I spent like the first 2 or 3 or 4 hours on the IMD boat on my laptop using their Wi-Fi to make sure everything is working as much as possible.
Yeah.
So finally, my kid has been patient enough, but we're going to go get her Starbucks or go get lunch or something. I can't remember exactly what we were going to do. And as we're going by, I realize, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel is happening right now. So I reached out to the same contact, and I'm like, hey, is there any way I could get into this? And she's like, no, I'm sorry. Then she asked the question, wait a minute, what did that wristband I give you say?
Yeah, like what color is it?
Yeah. Well, and what did it say? And then it dawned on me, Trent. I've got a wristband through that conversation that can get me into Hall H on Saturday. Now, you're going, well, why is this important? Because that's when the Marvel Cinematic Universe was making their announcement.
That's right. That ran directly before the reboot.
Right. So,
panel.
Which I probably could have sidled my way in there, but now suddenly I have it in. So we're walking by, and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Panel was happening, and we look, or actually it was coming up. It was still part of the Marvel Games panel. And I look, and I realize, oh my God, pardon me, there's no line for Hall H right now. I mean, there's one of 3 bays loaded, because what they do is they load 3 bays, they let one bay in, they have to close it off. Nobody can cross over to the Hilton base or whatever in Bayside and all the stuff that's going on back there, including the IMD boat and the Adult Swim installation. So they have to close that off. So they load one in. So we walked right up, and we were in the second bin. So we got right in there. So I got to see the last part of the guy that hosts Game Over Greggy. I can't remember his name right now because we're on the air. Anyway, he was hosting that panel, so we got to see the cool Iron Man VR game that they're putting out. We got to see a gigantic real-time presentation from the Avengers game, which, at first you look at the models of the characters and you're like, why did they make those choices? But then as you're watching the gameplay and the things you can do in this game, suddenly the costumes don't matter anymore,
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, it looks like a fun damn game to play. And then we got to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel, so I got to see that, which I'm glad, because in case I haven't dropped the name before, ages ago, in 2 different lifetimes ago, I used to work with Jed Whedon, who's one of the executive producers of that show. So I'm glad the show... Huh?
That's Joss Whedon's brother.
Yes, he is. But also, it's just cool that the show that they've been running, he and his wife has gone 7 seasons. So I really wanted to see that and be there and support him. It was also his birthday. Not that he knows I was even in the audience. Doesn't matter. And from there, every day was just a regular day. Friday, I can't even remember exactly what we did. But, we hung out on the boat. I think we went to the cement signing ceremony that they did for Kevin and Jay at the box theater there in San Diego, because they do a similar thing as the Chinese theater as well, where they have the hands encased in cement. So we went to that, but I don't really think I did any panels. Oh, but that was the morning where I did the Adult Swim experience with the Rick Flector, which was just I got the best one of the games. You can get up to 6. But basically you get to build your little avatar of a Rick that talks to you, and then it's just an advanced version of the Xbox's motion tracking bar. But I got the game where I was Pickle Rick slicing up rats coming at me. Yeah, so that was
it's like a VR Fruit Ninja's Pickle Rick.
Yeah, I was Fruit Ninjaing the damn thing, so I got to do that. But that was all great. And also, I did the ultimate ridiculous move, and I cosplayed as Kevin Smith at the con.
Brilliantly. Like extremely well, with I don't know how you found that jacket of that mauve color.
Well, Trent, sometimes...
Which he bought in Salt Lake.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah.
Look, you can make things happen if you got enough time or commitment. But
that's true. I mean, we don't even need to talk about the cane you had for Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Lord, don't bring that mess up again. So I did. I had the white cap. I didn't get a beard though. I didn't glue that on because I knew I would sweat it off in 5 minutes. But I do now own a pair of jorts, so that's good. It's another.
You are John Cena ready.
Yeah, man, I am. I'm just ready to rock it. But then at I think it was, oh man, I can't even remember the time. But let's just say it was around 5:45, I think, or 4:45. It was one of the 45 minutes before the hour. And I told my daughter, all right, look, I think this wristband is going to get us in, because it did for the media load. We did that in the morning, I remember. I'm like, I think this is going to get us in. But, if it doesn't, you're cool, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm cool. So we came in, and same people were at the studio entrance, and they're like, yep, go ahead, just have him through. Take him over to the tech booth, because I told them, I'd have one more piece of media to load, if I may be honest. And the security person did take us right to where the tech booth loads, and she said, okay, you're good. I said, yeah, we're good. She went away. I looked around, found a person waving a flashlight, and I went over and said, yeah, we just need 2 seats. And I found myself, now mind you, in the very last section of Hall H, but I was in the Phase 4 announcement panel. And I always thought, if you can look at this stuff live, like they were Instagramming photos out,
right,
so the news was dropping practically in real time. You always think you don't really need to see something like that. But again, the zeitgeist, Trent, the being in the room and all that nerd energy just rattling the walls was something truly to hold. What I will say, though, too, is you got to watch out for nerd rage, man, because...
Did you see any, angry fanboys?
Well, what happened was this. There were 2 things that happened. So not to repeat the entire presentation again, but, they started with... actually, I don't even remember what they started with, but I could look at the history, because I got to admit something, Trent. I even said on the... even on Twitter, Instagram, I'm like, I'm not going to retweet this to you all in real time. But for some reason, something happened, and I decided that, you know what? I wouldn't be in this room if it weren't for Kevin Smith. Let me just tell him something that happened. Let me go ahead and risk losing my job by sending a random message. And next thing I know, it just kept going. And I was driving my daughter nuts because I'm taking photos. And she's like, your phone is so bright. But let me see.
God,
what was the...
Dad?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was. Okay. I just literally, I just said, I'm in Hall H. And he said, when's Marvel start? And I'm like, nowish. And that's when they just dropped it right there. They said, we're talking, or actually what they open with was the coolest thing. And this is a reason to be in the room. They end up doing this big retrospective clip reel of just
dude.
the entire MCU up to that point. And then at the very end, it of course it ends with everything that, I'd say spoilers, but man, the commercials are even just, Tony Stark with the I am Iron Man, and the screen goes black and it just says the way we've never heard it put before, the Infinity Saga.
Oh.
And I'm nerdily getting goosebumps right now. So the first instance of nerd rage was when Jessica Chobot, who was hosting the panel, said, when you walked in, you should have all got tickets, and the whole room audibly turns because there were no tickets. And I just felt bad for the Hall H staff because at that point they are scrambling to get tickets out. And it looks like a little raffle ticket, but it's a movie ticket. And then you take it to another one of the hotels outside of the badged area to get your prize. And what it was, I haven't even cracked the seal on it yet. I've been waiting this long.
Plus, shit, really?
Plus, Emily opened hers so I could play with them. But this was the coolest thing. Special trading cards for the Infinity Saga of each one of the stones.
Dude.
The Space Stone. Here we go. The Soul Stone. All the stones. I'm now really just showing you the cards.
This is awesome.
That I'm now touching for the first time. Now, the coolest part, I had not looked at them. As I said, Emily opened hers. At least one part in the car ride home, we got to enjoy one of the benefits of it, because what it also does for these is it says every one of the movies that particular stone was in. So we had a little trivia contest. She would ask me, and I would name off the movies that they were in. And the hardest one to get, and the one that tripped me up, was the Space Stone, because it's been in so damn many of the movies.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, we picked these up the next day. So that happened, and then after that, they just went straight into, let's talk about Phase 4, and they show us a map with 2 years, and then they just go right into it. They're just like the Eternals. Bam! And they bring out all the stars, including Selma Hayek and Angelina Jolie. And I'm like, this is not really happening. They didn't somehow get Angelina Jolie to come to Hall H. That's
right?
not this woman. Isn't she like saving underfed nations?
Yeah. Like, she's like single-handedly like funding a nation or something at this point.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, they got her onto Hall H. So that was, and as I said, the nerd energy is just crackling in the room. And it was just insane, because they basically went through everything that was happening. And one of the things was Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Which ends with it didn't end with that. They just do that. They bring out the stars, glad hand, send them back. But Kevin Feige goes into like, let's run a clip of, and then it's like the broadcast on the screens. Because mind you, there's 3 big screens I'm watching this from. And the people in between those screens and Hall H just see it on the back wall of Hall H. On that big thing. That becomes a big monitor. And suddenly it's Zemo hacking in.
Oh, yes. Good. They're going to use Zemo, finally.
And at the very end, you know what he does, right? He pulls on a mask.
Oh,
Pink
yes.
mask. Pulls it over his head. It's more of like a stocking cap type mask.
Yeah.
But he pulls it on, and the room just explodes. It just goes nuts. They also announced WandaVision, which is happening. God, it was so much. Well, all the Disney Plus shows. But I got to give it to...
Loki.
Yeah, Loki, and he did confirm that Loki is the Avengers Endgame Tesseract hopping Loki.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so he's like a man outside of reality.
Yeah, he is, and you got to
Yes.
think about it. That's also the Loki that hasn't had the Dark World or the
Right.
Ragnarok experience of bonding with his brother and seeing him
Yeah.
come around.
And which plays in so nicely with the other announcement that they made of the What If series, right?
Oh,
Because
man.
now all this stuff can like tie, like you can see like little weird things like that, and then it could be developed even further in the What If series.
Yeah, that's
which is how
true.
the original What If comics were all about, right?
Yeah, and that's going to be an animated series, and they're getting a lot of the original talent back.
Oh, it is animated?
Yeah, it's What If
Okay.
it's going to be animated, but still, I'm in. Again,
Yeah,
very,
again, take my money already. Just give me content.
very,
Jeez.
very genius of them to basically say Phase 4, the Disney Plus shows are officially part of canon, y'all. So you know you're going to buy it anyway. You now need to buy it. I'm surprised they haven't let us pre-order it already because I want to.
Right? Yeah, I know. Seriously.
But with Hawkeye, I got to tell you that show on Disney Plus, the winner of entering Hall H on that day for me, aside from them announcing Thor: Love and Thunder, and the fact that Natalie Portman will be Lady Thor.
Yes, right?
Other than that moment, the winner of that Hall H panel for me was Jeremy Renner, because when they announced Hawkeye, instead of him coming out from behind the stage, he comes in through the same side studio entrance I do and basically walks down the middle of the con and then up to the stage. Just having so much fun with it, which I don't blame him, because that's one of the other things they announced at the very beginning, is that basically we've run the numbers and we are now the highest grossing film of all time.
Of all time, yeah. Internationally.
Yeah, and that was a really cool entrance. But then finding out that we're also, I don't know, I wasn't super pumped about Shang-Chi.
Oh, dude, I am.
Yeah, but it's a comic.
But again, yeah, that's comic nerd.
I never read. And then I think the one thing that I really loved was the announcement not only of Thor: Love and Thunder, but was the next Doctor Strange movie.
Yes.
Where it's what is the Madness of the Multiverse or something?
Multiverse, yeah.
And Scarlet Witch is going to be in that movie as well.
Yes,
which makes perfect sense, given the powers that she has. I really enjoyed the presentation, but the best part was when Feige at the very end, he's like, we didn't even get to talk about, and he's like, Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, he threw out
all the Phase 4 stuff.
Oh, by the way, they also announced Blade, and which technically wasn't even that schedule. They're just like, Blade is coming. And I can't pronounce the actor's name, but definitely a great take on a modern day Blade, because it ain't going to be Wesley Snipes anymore for sure. But then, that part, they did the Blade thing, and then he's like, we didn't even get to talk about this, we didn't do this, we didn't even get to talk about Fantastic Four or mutants, and the room is just blowing up. But one of the last movies they did before Blade, which we got to see footage or a teaser for, was the second instance of potential nerd rage. Because Marvel is big on the hats, just like they traded like they just picked somebody up in the trade. And they're putting on the team hat.
Right.
They love ball caps, and after the Black Widow one and the announcement and everything, and they're like, and you're all. Did I bring an extra 8,000 hats or whatever it was? And he's like, you bet I did. And the moment the aisles around me had not gotten hats, I really thought somebody was going to get stabbed. Honest to God. I really did. Because people were just restless.
We had enough, but there's these 2 extra people in here. We don't know what's going on.
But there's the Black Widow hat. And the best part is around the back, it says Marvel Studios 2020. So,
oh, nice.
I got one of those too. And again, this all never would have happened if not for just the magic of circumstance.
Yeah.
So much so that, I don't know, there was something Saturday where I seemed to think I did have some of that Kevin Smith fairy dust on me. Because we took a break from the boat. We had gone to the boat because of Riverdale. The cast was going to be there, and Emily got to be on, up for watching that portion. And so she's really big on Riverdale, and the cast was 10 feet away from her. An experience that no other parent, realistically outside of the show or with connections can give to their kids. So again, thank you, Kevin Smith. So after that, we went to go get coffee, and the cutest part was Emily got to see Riverdale cast, but then the conflict would have been trying to get into the Good Place panel. But I told her, one, I can see it online after. Two,
right,
you were not getting in that panel if you didn't get up early and get in a line and sit through all the other panels, so don't worry about it. But she's like, no, really. So we get out of the Starbucks line, and I'm just going through the motions because I know we're not getting in.
Right.
And sure enough, we get up, and they're like, yeah, line's downstairs outside. So we go back down, and then we went to lunch. Had a delicious lunch, and afterwards I'm like, you know what? Hang back a little bit if you're worried that I'll embarrass you, but I'm going to try something. We go to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine installation, and I go to the check-in thing. Because we had already picked up our wristbands the day before. So we were already checked in, but that doesn't mean you don't have to get in the line. Right. But my badge says professional on it. And I'm like, look, do you know who Kevin Smith is? And the guy's like, yeah. I'm like, look, I'm here working for him. I didn't get into the Good Place last year. I really want to get into this Brooklyn Nine-Nine experience. Is there anything you can do? The guy, he just looks at me and he says, hold on a second. He gets up, he goes, talks to somebody, comes back, puts a green wristband on me, puts a green wristband on Emily. He's like, just wait here, and we get loaded into the next session.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah.
Like I said, it's well, sometimes you just got to have balls, right? You just got to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Saturday was a really magical day, and then Sunday we got up and we went down to get into the Riverdale panel. We ended up coming in at the end of the Supernatural one. Actually, they let us in a little early, so we got a replica of the Supernatural car, which I have no idea where mine is right now because, as you can imagine, everything has been in a disarray since I got back, and it's only been a few weeks, so why would I have cleaned yet? But we got that, and then she got to seal the whole Riverdale panel. And then, of course, it was race out of San Diego again. Just
all right, get in the car. Let's go.
Yeah, because if it hadn't been for that Riverdale panel, dude, I'm telling you right now, at like 6, 8 a.m., we'd have been out. That would have been it.
Right.
We're on the road. But all in all, I can just tell you, it was a really, really great experience. And for reasons I won't mention on the air, it was a very gratifying experience as well. And so if I never go again, I'll be happy because, there is no amount of, even though Kevin's panel was the one right after the Marvel panel, there is no way in an ordinary circumstance or even in a supporting role method I get in. That kind of magic, you can't make lightning strike twice like that.
Right. I get it. Yep. I totally understand.
James Smith is asking how long was the drive back. Actually, it was only about, I think, 8.5 hours. And that was only because we hit traffic on I-5 because the opposite, or on what we conveniently call the Grapevine on I-5. It's a whole mountain pass thing. But the opposite direction, there was a fire. So traffic slowed down due to rubberneckers. But that was it.
8.5 hours.
Well, I mean, like realistically...
That's so long.
Well, you got to remember, the drive down was 10.5, and when we came home the last time, there was construction on I-5, so it was almost a
big damn state.
It was almost a 12-hour drive last year coming home. So when I hit 8.5 to 9 hours, I'm doing a jig coming out of the driveway, my friend.
Oh gosh.
But it was really great. The thing that blows my mind, and this is the thing I don't understand, are the people. Because you really have to decide what am I giving up in order to go do something. kind of thing, because like, do I want to try and get up and get into the lottery to get the exclusive Lego? So I got to get up at 4 a.m. So I'm over there by 5 a.m. to try and do that. And then I want to go line up for the Good Place experience, or not the Good Place, but like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine one, or you wanted to go see the Amazon installation for Carnival Row, or for The Boys, or for, this, that, or the other thing. And every one of them is going to have a line. So you're going to have to get in early to do that. Or, do I really want to see the Good Place panel? So I'm going to get up early Saturday morning and I'm going to go do that because I know I'm not going to get into the Marvel panel. So I'm going to it seems like, for a lot of people, spending a lot of money to not do a whole hell of a lot. That's my take.
Yeah, it's a lot of people with a lot of money to stand in line.
Yeah, whereas, like, if I go to something like when I went to the Salt Lake Comic-Con with you, that was a regular con experience. It was
Or I mean, what was it? 2 summers ago, man, or was it last summer? The small town con, like the local con, the your neighborhood con.
Oh, that was the beginning of this year, dude. That was like,
those are the best, man.
It was cramped as all hell.
They're so much fun.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But boy, was it jam packed, dude. It was tight. But that was obviously vastly different experiences. It's just James Smith is saying my take is basically SDC in a nutshell. Which is true. That's what it is. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't. And which is why I'm saying if I never go again, I'll be happy, because I can't repeat this experience. And really, it was just very rewarding, both from an entertainment side and from a professional perspective. So, and plus it provided that one little thing which, nobody wants to talk about, but everybody loves. It's like, because of association, I've gotten some perks and they're cool, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was my San Diego Comic-Con experience, broken down really loosely. But, unfortunately, for whatever reason, we haven't recorded anything until now. And that was almost a month ago now.
Yeah.
You know how many brain cells I've lost since then? Just from
7.
trying to pick up goldfish crackers? It's a lot, man. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for taking part in the live experience. Thank you very much to every one of our listeners and all of our patrons, including Brandon Janot, who you mentioned as one of our patrons, and Steve Ashton, the guy I interviewed on episode 300, is one of our patrons. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what else? Fuck you.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I explained before the show his outrage, which I loved because I knew it was false. And the second time when he was having the outrage, he's like, I don't know who the guy is. I don't know anything about him, but F him. So that was fun. I really enjoyed that. But anyway, thank you to everybody that takes part in this, because we always appreciate each and every one of you, because realistically speaking, this is just a conversation between two friends talking about the stuff they want to talk about, and you help bring a little something to that every time we do it. So thank you. And some days we are more tech. We talked about the YouTube app. That's good, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything?
And cable.
Yeah. Was there anything?
An AT&T merger.
Was there anything you wanted to plug before we go, by the way?
Just if I also do color commentary for the wrestling videos. So if you I'll tweet it out. You can follow my wrestling character Lauren Gardner on the social medias.
Oh, there we go. That is cool. So do you do that like after the fact, or is this captured live?
Yep. I do it. I don't do it live because I'm running static video cameras and taking still photos during the matches.
Well, not to mention, obviously, being able to provide color commentary, you can actually put together your own freebie writer's room, and you can really make some good, powerful content.
Yep.
Unlike doing it live and getting your flip-flops stolen.
Yeah, when the dog's like, what the hell?
And speaking of binge-worthy, folks, I've already gone through 4 episodes just before this. We sat down to do this as well. Glow Season 3 is on Netflix now.
Yeah.
There's too much.
And I haven't dived into it, but there's a comic book series of Glow too.
Oh wow, I was not
that
aware
follows
of that.
that follows the continuity. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I did not know that. So thank you. You can check that out at your comic book store, folks. Hey. Until next time, thank you very much, as I said, for tuning in. Thank you for listening. My name is Will.
I'm Trent.
And we'll be back
soon. At smodcast.com.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
Not bad. We almost seem like professional podcasters here, right?
Almost.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't know what to do. I looked and we'd been going for so long, and I'm just like, oh, I've just been talking about Comic-Con stuff. How do we adequately wrap up? I can't do it, man.
No, we did it though. That's just it. We did it.
Well, we didn't do it yet. I still have to. I still have to hit this first. Then we've officially done that. Do you know what that is?
Wait, you gotta hit what?
I gotta hit
which one?
I gotta hit this.